Welcome back, you all, to another fun-filled show. This is your boy, Free Blanche, aka He is Blanchard, aka Blanstradamus. So today's title is Emotions Do Not Lead to Truth. Emotions do not lead to truth. If you read that Bible, you won't find anywhere where God asks anyone how they feel, because how you feel is irrelevant. Emotions do not lead to truth. Character does. Hold on one second. Let me connect this real quick. Maybe I can. Sorry about that. Let me see if I can. Emotions do not lead to truth. Character does. What's up, Mano? But I'm going to go ahead and jump right into it. I was sent this video of this guy. His name is, let me not get his name wrong. Let me see. Just give me 1 second. For some reason, these, oh my goodness, hold on 1 second. Shoot, man. What the heck is going on? Y'all give me 1 second, man. Doesn't make any sense. Just give me 1 second. Doesn't make any sense. Makes no sense. Y'all give me 1 second while I do this. I'm sorry. What's up, Mano? What's up, Neek? What's up, Will? What's up, Tierra? What's up, Anna Valisa? What's up, Raytho? What's up, Rechurched? Anna Valisa said, I'm cooking and not watching the chat, but I'm listening. So emotions do not lead to truth. And many people have been deceived because they're making you believe that you're getting the truth because you feel good about what you're hearing or about what you're seeing. And in actuality, it's not true at all. And in fact, if you're emotional over a lie, it's going to be a problem for you because you're going to have the consequence of what a lie produces. You're going to get it. So it's best that you distinguish between lies and truth. So hopefully this is okay. Hopefully it's good. Okay. So we should be good now. Sorry about that, y'all. Let me go back on IG. Just give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. Okay, sorry about that, Instagram. I'm back. Anyway, so let's get started. I don't know why I did that. Here we go.
Crying on the inside. Oh, you wondering what else can I do? Sometimes you tip you. Sometimes you say, I'm not going to tip that nigga. You don't look for no tip. Yes, sir. Thank you. What did you say? Come back because I take care of you. Don't talk to him like that. That's a good nigga. That's my nigga. Oh, yes, sir, boss. I'm your nigga. I'm trying to make a living. Why? I got 3 children. I want them to get an education. I wasn't fortunate enough to get an education, but I want them to get it. And they are doing good. Night after night, I lay down and I dream about what I had to go through with. I don't want my children to have to go through with that. I want them to be able to get the job that they be qualified. That's what I'm struggling for. I don't want this and I don't want that, but I just don't want my children to have to go through what I go through with. Hey, tell that nigga to hurry up with that coffee. I'm on my way. So that's what you have to go through with. But remember, you have to keep that smile.
So this guy right here, now I saw this is a viral video. Booker Wright, his life was taken by a customer shortly after this NBC interview, Greenwood, Mississippi. Now, based on what he just said, this was filmed in 1965. Now, my question is what he just said bad? What did he just say in this video that was bad? What did he say? Now, let's just get to let's get to the original documentary, the subject of Booker's Place, A Mississippi Story, was produced by Frank D. Fillida in 1965. D. Fillida worked for NBC as a documentary filmmaker. He was given his own unit and so generally had the freedom to select his own topics. He was inspired to make Mississippi a self-portrait after reading a New York Times Sunday magazine article by Holding Carter about injustice experienced by African Americans in Mississippi. He approached NBC and the project was approved. He traveled to Mississippi to interview local residents. There in Greenwood, he was introduced to Booker Wright, a waiter at Lusso's, a whites-only restaurant. Wright sang the menu, a gimmick at the restaurant. This was also because there were no menus, a measure used to discourage African Americans from patronizing the restaurant. Wright spoke openly about his treatment by customers and life in a racist society. The documentary appeared on NBC television. Now, emotions will not lead you to truth. So I want to think about something real quick. They said that the restaurant didn't have menus, and that was used to discourage Black people from going to the whites-only restaurant. So if it was a whites-only restaurant, why would they have to use any kind of tactics to keep Black people out of the restaurant? If it was a whites-only restaurant, why would they have to use any tactics to keep Black people out of the restaurant if it was a whites-only restaurant? Why would they not have menus to discourage Black folks from coming to the restaurant when there's a guy there that sings the menus? You have to remove the emotion to get to the truth, because the emotions are truth blockers. Emotions block the truth. You know, I say that context removes emotions. Emotions block the truth. So just think, why would these people have to use any kind of gimmicks if it was a whites-only restaurant? That means that Black people could go to the restaurant. And if the food was good, you not having a menu wouldn't make any difference because there's a guy that sings. Was he the only one singing? You mean to tell me he was the only guy in the restaurant? He was the only waiter? That doesn't make any sense. You see, when they tell these stories about how it was for Black people, if you just sit back and remove the emotions, you'll find that the majority of them don't make any sense. They make absolutely zero sense. Was he the only guy in the restaurant singing the menu? Were there other white waiters and waitresses? But because they think you all are so slow and simple and emotional, they believe they can tell you almost anything and you'll believe it. They believe they can tell you all almost anything and you all will believe it. This story makes absolutely no sense. But let's continue. Consequences of the broadcast. Following the broadcast of the NBC documentary, Wright quit his job at the all-white restaurant after being shunned by customers. He was severely pistol whipped by a policeman, and his own restaurant Booker's place was firebombed. Wright was later murdered by a black customer, Lloyd Cork, currently serving a life sentence for his murder. Now, let's unpack that. Now, think about what he said. He was shunned by his customers after this documentary, which means before the documentary, he wasn't shunned by his customers. So just let your mind think. The customers were allowing him to earn a living because he said, I want to send my children to college. So the customers were allowing him to earn a living. After the documentary comes out, the customers shun him and he has to quit. Now I want you to think about what he said in this clip and ask yourself, does it make sense? He also owned his own restaurant, and his own restaurant was firebombed. Now, why would a man that owned a restaurant, black-owned business, why would a man that owned a restaurant be working in a white-only restaurant if it was that bad? Why would he put himself through all of this if he had his own restaurant? None of these stories will make sense to you if you remove the emotions. And the easiest way to remove the emotions is to just say, it's my fault. Whatever happens to you in life, just say, it's my fault. And I guarantee you remove all the emotions. Because once you make everything your fault, you will quickly start coming up with solutions. So we have this guy, Booker Wright, who did a documentary, and the customers that he had before started shunning him. He ends up quitting, and his restaurant gets firebombed. Now, we already know his restaurant didn't get firebombed before. So what made it different? I want you to think. Nobody had a problem with this quote-unquote black man working in an all-white restaurant and owning his own restaurant, even though it's supposed to be so racist. So this entrepreneurial black man was still working for the white man, and everybody got along. And the moment the documentary comes out, he quits his job because he's getting shunned by his customers, and then someone firebombs his restaurant. And then he gets pistol whipped by a police officer. So who do we know from history that does not like people to have their own businesses? From a historical context, who do we know that don't like for someone to own their own business? Now, if you've been following Chuck and Chad, you should know. I'm going to play the video again, and I'm going to read this all over again so we can put some context in front of this emotion. So again, this guy right here, this guy was working because he wanted to send his children to college. He does a documentary, and the customers who he calls racist in this clip shun him, which means they had to have been giving him tips because he had the job and he owned his own restaurant. So if he had his own restaurant and he's working for these white people, then that means he had to have been getting paid at this restaurant. So let's just do it all over again. Let's just do it all over again so we can just pick it apart. Happy birthday, Neek.
Although you're crying on the inside. Are you wondering what else can I do? Sometimes you tip you. Sometimes you say, I'm not going to tip that nigga. You don't look for no tip. Yes, sir. Thank you. What did you say? Come back because I take care of you. Don't talk to him like that. That's a good nigga. That's my nigga. Oh, yes, sir, boss. I'm your nigga. I'm trying to make a living. Why? I got 3 children. I want them to get an education. I wasn't fortunate enough to get an education, but I want them to get it. And they are doing good. Night after night, I lay down and I dream about what I had to go through with. I don't want my children to have to go through with that. I want them to be able to get the job that they be qualified. That's what I'm struggling for. I don't want this and I don't want that, but I just don't want my children to have to go through what I go through with. Hey, tell that nigga to hurry up with that coffee. I'm on my way. So that's what you have to go through with. But remember, you have to keep that smile.
So now 99.9% of the world believes he's telling the truth. I'm telling you, he's not telling the truth. He's not. How do I know this? Based on the reaction. Think about it. If Mississippi was so racist and white people didn't like black people, then how is what he said bad? In 1965, this came out in 1965. In 1965, a year after the Civil Rights Bill was passed, Civil Rights Act was passed, Mississippi was known for being racist. So what did he say that was radical or revolutionary? He said white people in Mississippi call him the N-word and they might not tip him. How was that bad? He didn't say, let's take over. He didn't say, let's start a riot. He said, I'm going to work among these white people, whether they're good or bad, so that I can send my children to school. My question is, who would have a problem with what he said? Clearly, common sense tells us that racist white people would have a problem with what he said. So then who would have a problem with what he said? So we have 2 things here. The 2 groups that would have a problem with what he said are the white people that think that he's lying on them and the communists. This is what he says, a double-edged sword. He's telling black people to peacefully coexist with white people, even if they may be racist, to send your children to school. That is an anti-communist message. On the flip side, a bunch of white folks are saying, wait a minute, we love Booker. Who don't like Booker? I'm just saying. Because what he's saying wouldn't offend a racist white person. How is what he said offensive to race? They use the N-word, they may not tip you. How was that offensive? He didn't say we shall overcome. He said, I'm going to keep skinning and grinning to get this money to send my children to college. How could that offend a racist white person? This is how I know what Booker Wright is saying is a lie. I know it's a lie. You know I know it's a lie? Because when he aired the documentary, when the guy did, his customers started to shun him and he had to leave the restaurant. He didn't leave because of violence. He left because they shunned him. And we know that shun means they don't want to talk to you anymore. They don't want to deal with you. It wasn't violent. It wasn't racial. You know why they did that to him? Because he lied on them. Because he lied on them. That's why they did that. Now, think about it. We can all agree there is no way on God's green earth that this black man, Booker Wright, who owned his own restaurant, would be working for some white people in their restaurant as a server if it wasn't gravy. I'm going to say it again. There is no way that Booker Wright would be working in another person's restaurant as he owns his own restaurant if it wasn't a good situation. What I'm telling you is the reason he was working in those white folks' restaurant is because he was making money hand over fist. Why? Because he was the attraction of the restaurant, because he could sing the entire menu. So that means that people would come to the restaurant just to hear him sing the menu. And I guarantee there were other servers in the restaurant who weren't singing the menu. So he was the star attraction. So folks came to the restaurant to talk to Booker Wright. And then he gets on TV and tells the world they're racist. They were offended. And they had a right to be, because Booker Wright lied. Even in his example, he said, I'm not giving that N-word no tip. And he even in the exam, he even says that they said, don't talk to him like that. That's my N-word. So even in his racial example, white people were still sticking up for him. I'm telling you, his story is cap. And we know it's cap because there's no way on God's green earth that Booker Wright would have his own restaurant and then subject himself to racism in somebody else's restaurant. It don't make any sense. I'm telling you, the man was singing the menu. He was the attraction of the restaurant, and folks were coming to the restaurant to hear him sing the menu. You will never get to the truth through emotions. Never. Emotions will always point you to the lie. Emotions will always trick you. This man was used by this communist filmmaker to say what he said. That filmmaker put him up to this. And instead of pumping up his restaurant, instead of saying, I got my own place, instead of saying, y'all come check me out, instead of elevating his own business, he chose to be a tool for propaganda, and it cost him. Let's read again. Let's read. The original documentary, the subject of Booker's Place, a Mississippi Story, was produced by Frank D. Felitta in 1965. De Felitta worked for NBC as a documentary filmmaker. He was given his own unit and so generally had the freedom to select his own topics. He was inspired to make Mississippi a self-portrait after reading a New York Times Sunday Magazine article by Holden Carter about the injustice experienced by African Americans in Mississippi. He approached NBC and the project was approved. He traveled to Mississippi to interview local residents. There in Greenwood, he was introduced to Booker Wright, a waiter at Luso's, a white-only restaurant. Wright sang the menu, a gimmick at the restaurant. This was also because there was no menus, a measure used to discourage African Americans from patronizing the restaurant. Now, again, common sense tells us if they thought menus, not having menus would keep black people out of the restaurant, then that means that black people could go into the restaurant. That means they were not restricting black people from going into the restaurant. It doesn't make any sense. Why would no menus keep black people out of the restaurant if they thought that black folks couldn't read anyway? It doesn't make any sense. Wright spoke openly about his treatment by customers and life in a racist society. The documentary appeared on NBC television. Consequences of the broadcast. Following the broadcast of the NBC documentary, Wright quit his job at the all-white restaurant after being shunned by customers. He was severely pistol whipped by a policeman, and his own restaurant, Booker's Place, was firebombed. Wright was later murdered by a black customer, Lloyd Cork, currently serving a life sentence for his murder. Let me go to this footnote real quick. Well, let me say this. So again, The reason why Booker Wright got shunned by his customers is because he lied on them. That's why they shunned him. They shunned him because he lied. He allowed himself to be a tool of propaganda. Instead of pumping up his restaurant, which was called Booker's Place, he should have called it the right place, but Booker's Place, he decided to be a tool of propaganda, and it cost him. He got shunned at the restaurant, and he had to quit because he wasn't getting them tips anymore. Now, keep in mind, he owned his own restaurant, but he was a server in another restaurant. That means he was getting paid handsomely in the white-only restaurant, but it wasn't really whites only. It was for everybody. But they claim that not having menus would keep black folks out of the menu, out of the restaurant, which don't make any sense. Again, this is all a lie. This is what propaganda is. Propaganda goes off of a narrative, off of a preconceived notion. Mississippi got to be racist. This is the truth. It's just that simple. White person upset, they got to be racist. It's just that simple. White person arguing with black person, slavery in America, yada yada, cotton fields, whips, they got to be racism. So this is how propaganda works. Now I'm gonna look into this this pistol whip claim. Let me see. Oh no, they don't have anything on that pistol whip. Let me go back. That wasn't a citation for that. And we know who firebombed his house. We know that's out the communist playbook. Right out the communist playbook. But anyway, to add insult to injury, he was killed by a black man named Lloyd Cork, who is currently serving life for his murder, but they don't have a citation for that. I just saw this video and I just decided to talk about it because this is what's destroying America. You have millions and millions of people who are already programmed. They're already programmed. So you can tell them anything, they're going to believe it. He was killed by a black man. Not a white man. Black man killed him. So again, what he said in this video would not offend any racist white person. What he said in this video would offend some communists and some black people who are communists. Because he's saying, even though if a white person is racist, I can still peacefully coexist with them. And he owned his own business. So I imagine that Booker Wright was well known in Greenwood and he was very financially successful. So he was what communists would hate. A black man who was successful and loved to skin and grin and sang in front of white folks. He was a thorn in their side. So they used him to lie, and it cost him. And it cost him.
Ma'am, please.
Ms. Nelson, your next court date is March 6, 2025 at 10 a.m. for a pretrial hearing. You have been held without bail, ma'am, in this matter. I do need to advise you that if you are released for any reason you fail to appear, you're subject to being held up to 90 days without bail.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, in this video, I'll play it again so you can hear it. I'll play it again. Listen carefully.
You know, that is only
Ma'am, please.
Ms. Nelson, your next court date is March 6, 2025 at 10 a.m. for a pretrial hearing. You have been held without bail, ma'am, in this matter. I do need to advise you that if you are released for any reason you fail to appear, you're subject to being held up to 90 days without bail.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank
Take
you.
that vote. Thank you.
At 10 a.m.
So, so if you go to this video, young lady's name is her name is Nora Nelson of Boston. So because she said, this is my first time hearing this happened in my house, it's a viral video and everybody believes that she's innocent. Again, white court, black woman, got to be racism. So the propaganda works because there's already a preconceived notion that's already set in stone. It's already a narrative etched in stone. So that means you won't even question what's even going on. You just assume it's racism. Now, we all know that her first time going to court isn't the first time she heard what's going on. When the police pick you up, they're telling you why they're not just going and snatching you up. It's a reason why they're grabbing you. So let's read into the story to see exactly where the confusion is. Now, keep in mind another viral video where most of the folks believe this is racism. Boston, a 24-year-old woman charged with murder in connection with the stabbing death of 65-year-old man on a houseboat in Boston, wrapped him up in blankets, secured it with duct tape, and affixed weights to his body, a prosecutor revealed in court on Friday morning. Nora Nelson of Boston was arraigned in Charleston District Court on a charge of murder in the death of Joseph Donahue, who was found dead from multiple stab wounds late Sunday night inside the boat at 2 Shipway Place at the Charleston Marina. A plea of not guilty was entered on her behalf. An officer responded to Donahue's home to conduct a wellness check just before 10:45 p.m. after his family reported that they hadn't heard from him in 48 hours and was greeted at the door by Nelson, according to Assistant Suffolk District Attorney Rita Muse. So the family, the police went to the boathouse and they were greeted by Nora Nelson. So, again, she got in court and played dumb, but she was dealing with the man in some capacity. The man had been missing. His family performs a wellness check, and she answers a door 48 hours later. So her coming to the courtroom acting confused doesn't mean anything because people lie, especially black people. When I saw that dumb look on her face, I knew she was guilty. You know what's going on. But let's continue. She, Nelson, was evasive and unresponsive when asked about Donahue's whereabouts. Muse told court her statements were contradictory and frankly, she lied. She stated that her name was Casey, and she also stated that the victim was at a strip club. According to a Boston police report, Nelson told detectives that Donahue had gone to DB's Golden Banana on Route 1 Peabody, and he would be back in a few hours. But family members claimed that Nelson told them that Donahue had gone to the store. So we have Donahue lying to the police and lying to his family. but she comes to court and she acts confused and dumb. I keep telling you all that black people lie. I'm not saying it because I'm trying to down black people. I'm not saying it because everybody else doesn't lie. I'm saying it because when you see black people in court with a dumb look on their face, you assume they're innocent. When you see a black person in court yelling out, I'm innocent, I didn't do it, you assume they're telling the truth. So I got to remind you all that all that means nothing. They're lying. She lied to the police and she lied to his family. And when they arrived at the boathouse, she was there. So the only person consistent in all of this is Nora Nelson, the one getting arraigned, acting so confused and shocked by what's going on. The officer decided to enter the houseboat to conduct a protective sweep in search of Donahue and open sliding doors in his bedroom that led to a patio area where he found the victim's body wrapped in a white and blue covering, secured with duct tape and affixed with weights, according to Muse. So this same woman in court saying this is the first time I heard about this, literally answered the door with a dead man on the patio. This same woman, acting confused and bewildered, literally answered the door for the police, and it was a dead man on the patio. Now, when I saw her looking dumb and confused in court, I knew she was guilty because black people lie. And everybody says, well, Blanche, everybody lies. Yeah, they do. The only difference is when everybody else lies, they get called liars. When black folks lie, they have whole people behind them trying to make them be innocent, fighting for their innocence, fighting for what they're saying to be the truth. The police are not just going to pick you up randomly and accuse you of murder. That's not how that works. That's television. That's movies. I encourage all of you all to watch police interrogations. The issue with law enforcement isn't the police officer. It's not the judge. You know what it is? It's the detectives, the ones that sit in the middle. That's who they want to get rid of. If you notice, think about it now. They try to put a woke judge in the seat. They try to get the police to quit or defund them. They're after the detectives. You know why? Because the detectives get to the bottom of the case and reveal the truth. Remember what I told you? You can't get to the truth through emotion. The police officer might be emotional. The judge might be emotional. But that detective, their job is to get to the truth. And if you watch these interrogations, you will see how many of these folks are guilty. 99.9% of them. 99.9%. Just listen to the interrogation. Just watch the interrogation and you will see how many times they lie in one interrogation. We're talking about lying 50 and 60 and 70 times. They're after the detectives. They're just using the police and the judges to squeeze the detectives. Those interrogations will tell you everything about the person. So when I saw this dumb look on her face, I knew she was guilty. Let me read it again. The officer decided to enter the houseboat to conduct a protective sweep in search of Donahue and open sliding doors in his bedroom that led to a patio area, where he found the victim's body wrapped in a white and blue covering, secured with duct tape and affixed with weights, according to Muse. Muse also said additional officers were called to the scene, found a dead dog in the water near Donahue's boat. Officers observed blood throughout the home, as well as an indication of an active effort to clean up. Muse added. The police report stated that officers also observed blood stains on a sheet which was hung to cover the door leading into the residence. Now keep in mind, the police came to the residence, she answered the door, and then they conducted a protective sweep of the houseboat. So that means she's there with the dead body on the patio. So again, her acting dumb in court doesn't mean anything because clearly she's there with a dead body. And there are signs of her trying to clean up and blood everywhere. When questioned about the blood, Nelson allegedly claimed that it was from her period and that she was merely dusting, not cleaning, the police report stated. Before arresting Nelson at the scene on unrelated warrants, Muse alleged that Nelson gave Boston police homicide detectives nonsensical answers and even provided a second false name. An autopsy later determined that Donahue was fatally stabbed and that his manner of death was homicide, according to Muse. There was also forensic evidence recovered from the descendant's body linking the crime. Hold on. There was also forensic evidence recovered from the descendant's body linking to the crime scene, as well as this defendant. Oh, okay. I guess he's the descendant. I'm sorry. Okay. There was also forensic evidence recovered from the descendant's body linking to the crime scene, as well as this defendant, Muse told the court. So basically, there's evidence linking her to this crime and the deceased guy to this crime. A dive team searching the water around Donahue's boat found a silver and black knife in a nearby seabed, according to the police. A piece of that knife was said to be recovered from the victim's body. The judge presiding over Friday's hearing ordered Nelson held without bail pending her next court appearance. Just before the arraignment ended, Nelson appeared to say, "No one ever told me this happened at my house." She continued, "This is the first time I'm hearing this happened at my house." Now keep in mind, this is this man's house. This is the man. So even in court, she's lying. It's not her house. It's the man's house that she killed. Even in court right now, she's lying. So imagine all these folks on social media thinking it's racist and thinking she's innocent, and they're all wrong. You know why? Because they're all emotional. Emotions do not lead you to the truth. In fact, it blocks you. That man's family called the police to do a wellness check at that man's house. An officer responded to conduct a wellness check at Donahue's home. That was his home, not hers. So even in her dumb, confounded look, she's lying. But I'm trying to show you all that emotions don't lead to truth. Just because you feel a certain way doesn't mean it's true. And she's guilty. They found evidence linking her to the crime. They found a murder weapon. They even found the dog. But she's in court confused. Lying to his family, lying to the police, giving fake names. She's guilty. Lying about it being her houseboat, she's guilty. I'm the bad guy, though. I'm the bad guy.
There ain't gonna be no more wishing and praying. We tried holding hands with white folks for 60 years.
Don't work.
We sung Christian songs with y'all.
Don't work.
We sung Kumbaya. We worked on your jobs. But none of that got us to the point where we at now. Because guess what? When everybody else went through something, you didn't tell them to go vote. You didn't tell them, oh, y'all just need some better programs. You gave the European so-called Jewish people reparations. When you harmed the Native Americans, you gave them reparations. When you took the slave master's slaves, you gave each slave master reparations. We have to understand white people are only afraid of two things: loss of life and loss of profit. Loss of life and loss of profit.
Black people are only afraid of two things: loss of life and loss of property. Asian people are only afraid of two things: loss of life and loss of property. Hispanic people are only afraid of two things: loss of life and loss of property. What he said is the dumbest thing ever. Who isn't afraid of a loss of life and a loss of property? That is the dumbest thing ever. Duh. Are you stupid? Who is this guy? Are you stupid? He has to be stupid. He has to be dumb.
Now, we're not here to advocate violence today, but we are here to tell Black Americans how to spend your money. If an organization, if a company does not care about your reparations, then why are you spending your money with them? If a politician is not for reparations, is not for your justice, then what are you voting for them for? The confusion has to stop. There will be no Stockholm syndrome with this generation. We do not reward people that are not for our reparations.
How many Black companies have actively supported reparations? Give me the name of a Black company that has started a reparations fund. Give me a Black company that has used their capital to invest to create reparations for Black people. Name me one Black company that is pro-reparations. Name me one. Name me one Black billionaire or multimillionaire that has put their money where their mouth is for reparations. There was the one guy that paid for a graduating class in Morehouse. He paid for their entire college tuition. And I met one of the guys. He said it was true. He said, I left college debt free. We don't even hear about him anymore. He's a billionaire. They try to hit him with tax evasion. I'm just curious to find, he's talking about these quote unquote white companies. What Black companies are pro reparations? What Black companies have put their money where their mouth is to create some type of reparation of Black people? Who? That's his name. Thank you, Neek. Robert Smith. Thank you. Robert Smith did something. Black people have been crying about reparations, and they don't realize the reason y'all aren't getting reparations is because they lied to you all about slavery. What you all went through doesn't qualify for reparations. That's why. You're never going to get it because these folks behind the scene knows what really went on. And it wasn't how you all are portrayed, how it's portrayed to you all. You don't qualify for reparations. America said, we are going to make the Negro equal. We are going to give him the same opportunity we will give ourselves. But you know who messed that up? Your culture did. You know who destroyed that? Your culture did. We can go all throughout history and find black folks being successful, even during slavery, even before slavery, in America. So you all will never get reparations. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
So the way I feel right now, family, Black America, I'm telling you right now, don't buy white till they make it right. Don't buy white until they make it right.
Do you know how tired all this is? I could take this same speech and put it back in the 60s. I can take this same speech he's saying right now and take it back to the 50s. Black folks are a broken record. They're a broken record. Don't buy white till they make it right, but y'all don't produce anything. What if what he's saying is true, then why isn't all these black businesses thriving? What's keeping black business from thriving? If it's so much black love and there's so much unity and there's so much revolution, why did Al Sharpton say, let's support black businesses? I remember about 4 years ago, maybe 2021, I proposed a plan. I said, you know what? Why don't you pick one black business to support a month? I said, everybody do it. I gave a simple plan. Y'all support one black business once a month. If everybody does it, it'll fuel the economy in the black community. Everybody I told that to, they shot it down. I done been called sellout and all this stuff, but Al Sharpton had a chance to say, let's, instead of buying from Costco and Target, let's support some black businesses. He didn't say that. He said, don't support Target and let's support Costco. If I say, if you really about it, support black business, I get called a sellout. Which is why I don't listen to black people. Because what they're asking for is ungodly. Black people are not asking for reparations. Black people are asking for white people to give up what they have. That's evil and that's wicked. Because black folks will tell you that white people have the best life. That white people didn't earn what they have, and it's a lie. I work with white people. The work ain't easier for them.
You better enjoy this black money while you can, white businesses, because there's a storm coming. You ain't getting another black dollar until you pay reparations. Don't buy white. Don't buy white. Don't buy white till they make it right.
When I tell you the black man is weak, he is a pathetic and sorry sight. These guys are on a corner because they don't want to spend money to get a venue. They're on the corner talking crazy. Don't buy white until it's right. Nothing about buying black, though. You notice that, right? Nothing about buying black. Don't buy white until it's right, but nothing about buying black. But I'm the sellout. they're still telling you to support the white man and not support the black man. I'm telling you, if you're really revolutionary, you're really about it, if you don't buy white, then just go buy black. But you won't do it. You know why? Because deep down inside, you don't respect the black product. Deep down inside, you don't even respect the black owner. Deep down inside, you like what the white man has, you like what he produces, and you want it to the point of envy and jealousy and greed. COVID-19 says, I'm not wealthy, but I'm willing to sacrifice. Therefore, I pledge to cover college tuition for every graduating senior this year at Dr. Umar Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. You're welcome. Hey, Kofi. And it's so sad because y'all keep sending Umar money. Think about people getting mad because my Cash App is in my bio on Instagram. People getting mad at that, but then sending money to Umar Johnson. I'm gonna start calling him Omar, but sending money to Omar Johnson, Jermaine Shoemaker. Imagine them getting mad at Chad because he's funding his own project and he's asking for help, but he's also giving a product, so you're actually paying for the product. Imagine folks getting upset with him, but okay with Umar Johnson finessing y'all for over a decade over a school that it's unacceptable. I don't listen to black people. They mad at Chad, but they celebrate Jermaine Shoemaker, aka Omar Johnson. I don't respect black people. I don't listen to them. Thank you, Kofi. I'm not listening. Let's continue. Let's continue. Let's continue.
Okay, so I had lied to this dude and I told him I couldn't have kids, but I was buying Plan Bs because he was cool to f with, but he wasn't cool to have no baby with. We listen, but we don't judge.
We listen, but we don't judge. I'm not gonna say that because everybody know that. I'm hypersexual.
We listen, but we don't judge.
I tried to run my last nigga over and stab him with my keys.
We listen, we don't judge.
I had bailed my ex out of jail just for him to cheat on me the next week after.
We listen, but we don't judge.
I had 2 abortions this year.
Listen, and we don't judge.
Okay, you better clock that.
I had like 8 abortions in total.
We listen, but we don't judge.
What you just heard is the epitome of the black community. The epitome of the black community is no judgment. This is why it's so wicked in the black community. This is why it's so evil and wicked. Because the premises don't judge. That means anything goes. Let's play it again.
Okay, so I had lied to this dude and I told him I couldn't have kids, but I was buying Plan Bs because he was cool to f with, but he wasn't cool to have no baby with. We listen, but we don't judge.
We listen, but we don't judge. I'm not gonna say that because everybody know that. I'm hypersexual.
We listen, but we don't judge.
I tried to run my last nigga over and stab him with my keys.
We listen, we don't judge. I had bailed my ex out of jail just for him to cheat on me the next week after. We listen, but we don't judge.
I had 2 abortions this year.
We don't judge.
Okay, you better clock that.
I had like 8 abortions in total.
We listen, but we don't judge.
That is the epitome of the black community. Is no judgment. And you see what has happened to the black community. This is what it is. You know, I've been telling y'all going back to slavery. It's going to happen because the devil's going to entice you with an offer you can't refuse because you don't have any character. So the devil's going to come to you and say, listen, I can take care of all your needs. All you got to do is just sign this paper and be loyal to the state. That's it. And most black folks going to do it. We listen, but we don't judge. Well, let's continue. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me go to something real quick. Yeah, I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me get through something real quick. Hold up. Let me get to something real quick, y'all. Hold on 1 second. Give me 1 second, y'all. Just bear with me, y'all. Bear with me. I'm just trying to find. I'm just trying to find something real quick, y'all. Because hope I can find it. If not, I'll just yeah, I might not be able to find it, y'all, because I might not be able to find it, y'all. I'm sorry. Yeah. You know, I had it, but it was. You know, some told me to get that video again. Some told me to get it again, but I didn't get it. Always follow your first mind. Always follow your first mind. Always. Anyway, let me just go to that. I'll just use this. I'll go to this one. Sorry about that. Let me go.
Current day Atlanta was built over the capital of Atlantis, nigga. Our ancestors got killed, and then they built their current Atlanta over their dead bodies, nigga. Fuck you mean, nigga? We'll tear Atlanta the fuck up, nigga. You got us fucked up. Nigga, it's our land, and it wasn't called Atlanta. It was Atlantis, nigga. Y'all came and took some shit from us. And Atlanta is on the 33rd parallel, which is why it's the most important city in the country because of the energetic, magical properties that it holds to these elites. This and LA and California because they 33rd parallel cities, nigga. And the pyramids in Egypt sit on the 33rd parallel. Yeah, it get deep. Just like the Kemet, the people of Kemet still exist. They are just on a higher frequency, so they appear not to exist. That's what y'all goofy ass scientists in America don't know, because y'all not tapped in like that. See, that shit is only in our DNA. Y'all don't know that type of shit. I just gave y'all some shit y'all ain't even know. You feel me? While y'all goofy ass all over there in Egypt, all in the sand and shit, looking for shit, trying to talk about, hey, the Kemet was an old ancient symbol. No, nigga, Kemet still exists. They just on a higher frequency that you can't see, because the higher you move in frequency, it vibrates so fast that you can't see it with these two eyes. And y'all ain't got y'all pineal glands unlocked. On top of that, y'all have no access into ancient Timbuktu or ancient Kemet, because my ancestors, our ancestors know you bitches ain't shit.
Now, I want you to just think about this guy right here, Jamal Rashad or Rashad Jamal. And think about he's in prison right now for child molestation. Now, think about all that he just said and ask yourself, is he telling the truth or is he lying? He's drinking the white man's orange juice, living in the white man's house that he built, sitting on the white man's chair, eating off the white man's countertop. If he really believes what he's saying, then why isn't everything around him a reflection of the powers that he has from the ancestors? Why didn't he manifest a home? Why did he manifest the chair? Why didn't he manifest the granite top? He has all the answers, all the information. He knows more than a scientist, but yet he's still relegated to being in the white man's built society. He didn't go off grid. He didn't go live off the land. He stayed in the white man's social order. Imagine millions of black people listening to him speak and believing what he's saying. Imagine millions of black people listening to him, and this guy is a convicted child molester. Convicted. He's in prison now. And they're going to tell you he's in prison because he told this kind of truth. And I'm going to tell you, well, if this information was really powerful, then why is he in prison? If this information is truly powerful, then why is he in prison for probably one of the worst crimes a man could do, which is molest a child? Miss Graves said, lies are not a threat.
Fuck you mean? Unlike Wakanda, y'all will never get in Timbuktu, or y'all will never get in Kemet. They both still exist, nigga. Fuck you talking about? They both still here, nigga. They both still where y'all think they ain't. Y'all just can't see it. Fuck out of here, nigga. You feel me? They still exist. How about those metaphysical apples for your ass, goofies? Straight goofies. They had to thinking they know some shit. They had to be all over there in Egypt, all under the sand, trying to find out about us, nigga. You stole all our technology. They don't even know how to use it. What type of shit was that? Took all the technology and come to find out, damn, we still can't use it without the fucking key, and we are the fucking key. You can't use none of our shit without us. Look how many of us you try to clone us and all that, it still don't work. It has to listen. Let me help the elites out. Because I know the people that's listening, they probably know what the fuck the oppressors who listen to know what I'm talking about. They've been trying to find out how to get to ancient Timbuktu and ancient Kemet for a long time now. They kind of figure it's still there, but they don't know for sure. It's like that.
This man said, let me help the elites out. This man said, let me help the elites out. This man is sitting by his kitchen, and he has all the secrets of the world. But yet he still went to prison for being a child molester. And again, black people, put it this way, think about Cutting Through the Culture as a show, and think about how many folks watch Cutting Through the Culture, and then think about how many folks watch him after they found out he was a child molester. Think about that. You would think that black folks would say, okay, this guy he's a chomo, we ain't gonna mess with him no more. No. Think about it. Cutting through the culture is the sellouts, and this guy is for the people. Cutting through the culture is we're selling out, but he's for black people. And he just said, let me help the elites out who are quote unquote oppressing you all. He just said it. Let me help the elites out, and they're the ones oppressing you all. He wants to help them out.
Right? And the only thing that's left.
Thank you, Faxseed. He's so woke, he drinking fake orange juice. I'm like, you drinking Simple Truth? You are drinking Simple Truth? You know nothing.
From ancient Kemet down here is the pyramids of Egypt that's in a material form. So the only reason that what we basically did, what our ancestors did was, those that stay in ancient Kemet, Timbuktu, they slowed the vibration down. When they sped it, when the war took place, certain cities within Atlantis hid themselves so that they would never be found, because they killed so many of us. You know what I'm saying? So certain cities within us was like using spells to hide themselves. So our ancestors wanted to leave codes and messages behind for those who got locked outside of Timbuktu and ancient Kemet. So what they did was slow down the frequency and the vibration of certain pyramids in ancient Kemet so that it would still appear on this realm. Meanwhile, they on a higher frequency from up above looking down, because everything goes up, not down. This is the lowest realm right here. That's why everything is a solid. Solids vibrate slow. That's basic physics. Solids, liquids, gas, plasma, energy. The higher you go up, the faster the vibration of the atoms within those things. You get what I'm saying? This is metaphysics. That's why y'all bitches be mad at me, because y'all know I know what the fuck is going on. Y'all know y'all don't know where it's at. I know where it's at. Y'all, and I'm not going to never say it on live like that. Certain
Black people lie. Black people lie. Let me see. Jamal. I think he got like 7 years. Or was it 15? I think he got like, let me see. Rashad Jamal sentenced. Let me see. Let me see. Hold on. I don't know. Okay, yeah. So he's serving. Here we go. Here we go. He's serving 18 years. 18 years. It says that the 4 people missing from a St. Louis suburb who are believed to have ties to an online cult led by a convicted child molester who have gone completely off the grid with 2 young children in tow, the Missouri police officers leading the investigation said Wednesday. They shut off their phone, shut off their social media, shut off everything. Berkeley Police Maj Steve Runge told NBC News, we've even sent them money via Cash App and they haven't collected it. They're just gone. In a telephone interview, he said it's likely they don't want to be found. Those are folks tied to this cult. And then there was something else that happened. The missing 6 have been identified, and it is Jeriel German, 26, and her 3-year-old son, Ashton Mitchell, Namon Williams, 29, Michaela Thompson, 23, Michaela Wickerson, 25, and her 3-year-old daughter, Malia. No telling where they are. Earlier this month, Yasmin Hitter was hit with a 35-year prison sentence for her role in the fatal shooting of a 22-year-old Adam Simji of Apopka, Florida, in the Talladega National Forest in Alabama. She and her accomplice, Crystal Pinkins, have been living off-grid in the forest, and when they tried to rob Simji and his girlfriend. In a social media posting seen by NBC News, Hyder repeatedly mentioned Jamal. Pinkins, who received a life sentence for the Simji killing, was also a follower of Jamal, according to various published reports. So these are some of Jamal's followers. They going off grid, disappearing, killing people. This is this is what happened. Listen to this fool. And then he got 18 years. So
things I just won't say to protect our species, but I know exactly where the ancestors, certain ancestors that's still in our ancient cities of Timbuktu and ancient Kemet that y'all think no longer exist, are located at on this planet. So at the end of the day, on this realm, rather, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm talking about, y'all. You feel me?
The fact that black folks are following him, it almost makes it a hopeless situation. Because if you can't see through him, then you're like, I just don't know, it's going to be impossible. I like this guy right here. Watch this.
Ether is non-ether, whether you have locks, waves, or whatever.
Some guys feel like you need a lock to ascend.
Depends on how you look at it, because when you look at a wave pattern, I got waves in my head. Wave patterns are basically cymatic frequencies. Those are cymatic frequencies that operates on fractions of light. And those fractions of light coincides with the genetical structure of the carbonated man and woman that has the neuromelanin, which is the brain and central nervous system melanin. And that extracts a form of a melanocyte, which is an intelligence molecule. So it doesn't matter. Non-ether is non-ether, whether you have locks, waves, or whatever. As long as you got that non-ether popping and it has a certain geometrical pattern, that's what it's all about. You look at some of the ancient hieroglyphics, some of them, they have wave patterns. They have 360 waves. Most of them were even bald head.
He's another guy. Huge following. Just Cruise Missile said, who knew the do-rag was magical?
Non-ether is non-ether, whether you have locks, waves, or whatever.
Some guys feel like you need a lock to ascend.
Depends on how you look at it, because when you look at a wave pattern, I got waves in my head. Wave patterns are basically cymatic frequencies. Those are cymatic frequencies that operates on fractions of light. And those fractions of light coincides with the genetical structure of the carbonated man and woman that has the neuromelanin, which is the brain and central nervous system melanin. And that extracts a form of a melanocyte, which is an intelligence molecule. So it doesn't matter. Non-ether is non-ether, whether you have locks, waves, or whatever. As long as you got that non-ether popping and it has a certain geometrical pattern, that's what it's all about. You look at some of the ancient hieroglyphics, some of them, they have wave patterns. They have 360 waves. Most of them were even bald head.
How is there going to be hope for black people? How? If black people are following this nonsense, there's no hope for black people. 9 ether hair, locks, and waves. As long as you got the 9 black people are finished. I'm sorry to say it. Look, they listed, this dude is talking about a bunch of nonsense. It's foolishness. All he did, as cruise missile stated, is just wear a wave cap. He didn't build a pyramid. He didn't go to the stars. He didn't predict the future. He didn't invent anything. All he did was wear a wave cap, and he's getting credit for that. It's pathetic. It is pathetic. Who knew the do-rag was magical? Who knew the do-rag could bring out the 9 ether hair? Black people are doomed, not finished. They've been finished, doomed. Because they will follow anything. And it's really a spirit of pride. One of the spirits of blackness. One is the spirit of pride. Spirits of blackness by Dream Life, pride, entitlement, oppression, envy, and offense. Envy / jealousy and offense. And I added the spirit of lying, the spirit to not compete. My goodness, finished. Finished.
A lot of people know the Yakub dude. We gonna get it to both, but let's dig. Yakub, he the owner of the Tricknology book 120 Degrees, and Yashma, he owner of Technology 720 Degrees, if you didn't know. They both dead ass mixed with the same people, the Shuyuk and the Seming, right? They cousins, basically. See, their family was only mixed because the Seming was supposed to fulfill their protection agreement, and they didn't. So they had to get one daughter that is the Shuyuk, and a daughter from the Seming over there to cause peace and, you know what I'm saying, collide the families together. That was living in the inner earth, but let's dig. Yakub, he hated dark-skinned people. They call them epinoids. I think, they call them epinoids. He hated dark people, even though he's dark, Uncle Ruckus, but they treated him dirty, made his mama commit suicide, and his people killed his father, because his mama was doing in the firm. But let's get it. The book he invented and the tribe he invented runs this world today. Like, literally. The dude straight learned magnet laws and used the laws of a magnet to create a tribe, an all-white tribe. And then he found
this video is viral on TikTok. And again, my boy told me this a couple of years ago. He said, black people will just make it up. And he said that to me, and he ain't lied. Black people will just make it up. They'll just make it up. Just make it up.
Found out that he had white and black in him, so he used a little bit of his DNA to form this tribe. He threw all the black babies away. When they was on their way to the island, of course, I skipped a whole bunch of steps. I go do the research, but they on their way to the island because they was outcasted everywhere else because nobody didn't like his book. So while he on the boat doing his research, he is literally having sex with everybody, letting people have sex, and the lighter babies he will keep, and he will throw the black babies in the ocean. Every 200 years, the color of his civilization, they will be changing from black to a ruby color. Then they went like a yellow color, then albino, then white, and on it. 600 years, his tribe was created, and they was evil, wicked as hell. Got all the tricks to mind manipulation, books to write, to get people to, believe in something that ain't even real. A whole bunch of shit. he ain't get to see his creation. He died from a brain tumor, but his creation still lived to this day. This is a lot of people's father, not just white folks either. This is a lot of people's great. Y'all get what I'm saying? Granddad, or you dig what I'm saying? But that bring me to Yashma. Yashma was the total opposite. See, he was the one that was with the Samim. See, the mama that went to Samim, they had this baby, Yashma. The boy, dumb smart, big brain. That was his big cousin. Look, they went through the same studies, the magnets and all of that, but what he did was came up with some good shit. See, nobody never talk about him. We always.
And again, I know what he is saying sounds insane, but black people eat this stuff up. I know what he is saying sounds absolutely ridiculous, but I'm telling you now, this video is the stuff I'm showing you is viral stuff, like getting shared, getting watched, getting talked about. Like, so again, as ridiculous as it sounds, black people are eating it up. They can't get enough of it. We talk about TikTok, man. TikTok, to me, TikTok may be the most detrimental app in the world because it literally puts the battery in the back of black. Like TikTok, it is the battery for black people. You can go on TikTok and say anything. And we saw last week where the guy said he made up something about Trump, getting folks off child support. He said he lied and it went viral. Millions. 36 million views on TikTok. The man admitted he told a lie. 36 million views on TikTok. Or was it 3 million? I could have sworn he said 36 million. I don't know. It was a lot of millions though. Because it was 1 million on Instagram. Whatever was on Instagram, it was a lot more on TikTok. I could have sworn he said 36 million though. Let's continue. Yakub versus Yasma. And then he said Yakub died from a brain tumor. These folks got to be trolling y'all, man. He said Yakub died from a brain tumor. Oh my goodness.
Yashma was the total opposite. See, he was the one that was with the Samim. See, the mama that went to Samim, they had this baby, Yashma. The boy, dumb smart, big brain. That was his big cousin. Look, they went through the same studies, the magnets and all of that, but what he did was came up with some good shit. See, nobody never talk about him. We always talk about Yakub, but let's talk about him. He dead ass came up. All right, we ain't gonna do the technology. We're gonna do technology 720 degrees and teach people how to be good. You dig what I'm saying? Teach. He wanted to bring back the black community, what we call epinoids, and he wanted to bring back the black community and bring peace and a whole tribe full of gods that's vibing on a high frequency. You dig what I'm saying? See, Yakub had so many followers. He had so many followers with him until they start finding out he was doing babies. This dude, he made up a merge system. See, Yakub made up an abortion system. If I didn't tell y'all. So, you know what I'm saying? So if people have dark, they can kill, they can slice the baby throat. He made up the merge system. The 144,000 people, and 20,000 of them people was black people, and he mixed those with albinoids, the rubinoids, the what's the citrinoid. I'm trying to think. He mixed these people all together, and that's 600 years. Every 200 years, these people was going back black, and he lived to see his creation and his tribe. He didn't die. He seen all of that.
Can you imagine? I want y'all to think about this, right? Do you all realize? Listen, the other day I was watching these videos. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was like, it's a whole world out there. And this is why black people's brains are so scrambled. Because they consume this. and they consume CNN. Think about it. Black folks will watch this, CNN, then go watch a movie, go watch a TV show, go watch so. Black folks' mind is gone. It's like it's gone. It's a wrap. So I do watch this. I'm just intrigued as to see and intrigued to see how this is actually getting Black people's minds captured. But they get you because they tell you that you created everything. So what gets Black folks to buy it is you say that you created everything, not God, but you. So Yakub is responsible for, even though he's saying he's bad, he's still responsible for creating white people. You see what I'm saying? Like he's taking credit for creating white people, but also being better than white people. So it's just, and again, a Black person that listen to this, they gonna listen to Jamal, Rashad Jamal, then go listen to Umar Johnson, then go listen to Brother Polite, then go listen to Billy Carter, like Black people, and then go listen to Beyonce, then go listen to Glorilla. Like Black folks' minds are fried. If you all could just look in to see the road, you got a song rotation. Black folks have a content rotation that is out of this world. They consume the conscious stuff. They consume the communist propaganda. They consume the bliggity stuff. They consume the mainstream America stuff. They consume the subculture stuff. They consume a lot of stuff, and it's all based in nonsense and food, and it's on rotation. Their mind never gets a break. Their mind never gets a break.
He didn't die. He didn't die. That brings me to this. If we know where Yakub kids and grandkids and all of this at, where is his peoples? Where is the 144,000 DNA strands passed down, or whatever y'all want to call it, the souls, the recording, whatever y'all want to do. But where's his people? Ask yourselves, is you Yashma child or got Yashma genes, or do you got Yakub genes? Because Yashma people, they don't speak English. Yakub people be speaking English. English was in the book of Trigonometry. Test your mind, trust your mind.
Y'all think I'm joking, but that video is viral. I'm telling y'all, that video is viral. Emotions do not lead to truth. CC7, peace, baby, peace. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Yes, Josh. Jasher, I'm sorry. Yes, Jasher Love. Reprobate mind gone. Thank you, Cruise Missile, for the super sticker. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. CC777. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Willie Doc Blanche, can you and the CTTC crew do a Super Bowl halftime show so we don't have to suffer watching Kendrick Lamar? I know that's right? Kendrick is so. Anyway, thank you, Willie Doc. Hebrew Main, Blacks love Jesus, but not his message. Amen. They do not at all. Matter of fact, they hate his message. Thank you again, Kofi. Kofi said that I'm not wealthy, but I'm willing to sacrifice. Therefore, I pledge to cover college tuition for every graduating senior this year at Dr. Omar's Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. You're welcome. Thank you. And P. Dot, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm going to do part 2 on Monday. I don't know why this ain't. I'm going to do part 2 on Monday. But yeah, you're right though. They're gone. The masses of black people are not going to be saved. And I'd venture to say the masses of most folks probably won't be saved, but definitely black people, because black people, they accept too many doctrines. They accept too many, like most of these folks in the conscious community, they'll pick from the Bible, they just pick a whole bunch of stuff and just create a new religion. And the problem is that it's so difficult for black folks to get to the truth because they're emotional. And emotion is really a tool from Satan. It just is. It's just you feeling a way about something and you believing that it's true. Oh, Jasher Love just said something very profound. He said, they don't read to know. They don't read to know, which this is why most black people aren't scholars, because they don't read to know. They read to affirm an emotion, affirm a feeling or a thought. They don't actually read to just know. You know, if you're reading the truth, it's going to shatter what you are comfortable with or what you thought was the truth or what you thought was real. Emotions are what make us human, but the problem is being emotional. Black people are emotional. Like, you getting angry or being sad is normal. The problem is your emotions determining what's true and what's false. That's the issue. That's what black folks suffer from. Black folks don't use truth or facts to determine what's real or not. They use emotions. And that's why the devil's just using them. Everything's based on how they feel about something. Let me just end it. I'll end it there. Let me just end it there. I ain't gonna do it. Let me end it there. All right, y'all. Listen, I love y'all. Thank you, guys, Navi, for moderating. I'll see you soon. I'll see y'all on Tuesday. We probably won't do Cutting Through the Culture tomorrow because Super Bowl Sunday, but I'll definitely be back on Monday with y'all. What about Dank? That name sounds familiar. Dank. That name sounds familiar. Dank. Oh, Dank DeMoss. Dank DeMoss. I mean, it's sad because she's not going to live long. And she doesn't realize that all that moving around that she's doing, it seems good, but it's working her heart. She has to lose the weight, man. She got to stop eating, and it's just her heart's working triple time, but it's just sad. All these folks around her, men sleeping with her, women just trying to be around her to stunt. It's bad. I think she has children. It's just crazy. She's an overweight rapper, overweight rapper. But listen, y'all, I love y'all. Yeah, got the Lyft driver fired, about to sue Lyft and win. But guess what? God will not be mocked. She gonna pay for that. I'm just telling y'all, she gonna pay for it. So listen, I love y'all. Oh yeah, the other dude, the other big dude with the who's the other guy? What's that guy's name? Because I saw him on hold on a second. Let me try to find this guy because I just saw it. Yep, got it.
What you said?
Check this out. The newest fantasy game from
You know, I mean, imagine this man getting celebrated because he stood up. Like, imagine the expectation is so low for this guy that when he stands up, the crowd goes crazy. Chris Brown got to dance all across the stage, flip, do all the routines and choreograph all this stuff. Let me see if you can run it. Like, he got to do all that to get a standing ovation. This guy literally just stood up and walked around, and they went crazy. Like, it's just, listen, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Listen, y'all, I love y'all, and I will see y'all soon. Thank y'all.